Hey everyone, it's Mike here from ArnoldTutoring.com with a good trigonometric equations question. It also involves some transformations, so let's read what we have to do. It says graph y equals cos x and y equals 3 cos 2x minus 1 on the same axes. We're also going to take note of sort of what the new period is, what the new amplitude is, and what the phase shift is, so the different transformations that are actually happening. So let's start by graphing y equals cos x. I've created the axes here, but let's actually label just so we're sure, so that we'll call this 1, 2, 3, and the same thing on the negative side below, and we'll go, let's go in radians. So this is pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, and 2 pi. If you're doing degrees, it's 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. It's always a good place to start because 360 degrees covers the first period of both cos x and sin x. So we should know what cos x looks like. If we don't, let's start. What's cos of 0? So when x is 0, cos of 0 is 1. So 0, 1 is your first point. We know it starts up here and it goes down like this. Comes back up through here and ends there. Should hit negative 1, which is the minimum at pi, and again back at 1 at 2 pi. So it looks something like that. You can do the same thing on the other side. Should go like this, and end there. And it keeps going both directions, but we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so now we don't want to keep plugging in numbers and actually see, create all of our new points. We want to use our knowledge of y equals a cos b of x minus c plus d. And we know that a is the new amplitude. So what we do is we multiply our y values by a from the original. So the original, take your y values at all your points, multiply them by a, and what that really does is that, I'll go step by step here, that stretches it by a factor of 3. So at our point here, 0, 1, that now becomes 0, 3, so we're up here. The zeros stay the exact same, so we can fill those in green here. But the minimum and the max get stretched out. Instead of down to negative 1, it's down to negative 3. 1, 3, 1, 3. So this, you can see it just stretches vertically the graph. But we haven't done anything with our x values. We're covering the same horizontal distance, but we've stretched out the graph vertically because of that a. Now b is a different story. b, you divide y values by b. Sorry about that, x values. b deals with your x values, a deals with your y values. So we're going to divide all of our b values by 2 in this case, because our b is 2. I'll do this one in blue. And what that really means is now we're not touching our y values at all. So the max and the min stay where they are, but the graph is going to actually horizontally compress. So instead of pi by 2 here, it now comes to pi by 4. We're dividing it by 2. Pi comes to pi by 2. 3 pi by 2 comes to 3 pi by 4, which is in here. And 2 pi divided by 2 is going to come to pi. So you can see it's actually been horizontally squeezed by a factor of 2. And the same thing will happen down here. And that's one period now. So this point here became this point. Same thing here. This point became this point. And we move pi by 2 into pi by 4. So that's the horizontal squeeze. One thing to remember as well is the period of our function always equals 2 pi divided by b. So in this case it's 2 pi divided by 2, which equals pi. And you can see here as we trace the first pi, we're now at pi here and it's starting to repeat. So we've done that correct. It is one period is pi. Remember, period is the horizontal distance that it takes to start repeating. Then the last move I will do in orange is our D value. There is no C value, so D we just add or subtract D to Y values. And we do this last. So this is just the vertical shift. So we're literally just bringing every point down by 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. And so the new graph looks like this. So in orange, that's our final graph of y equals 3 cos 2x minus 1. We know our amplitude is 3 because that's our a value. We know our period is pi because we did 2 pi divided by b, which was 2. And we know our vertical shift was down 1. Hopefully that's not too messy to see and it all makes sense. Again, just separate your A, B, C, and D into, is this affecting my X value or my Y value, and then just move your points accordingly. Also, you want to go in alphabetical order when you're making the transformations. So you want to complete A first, then B, then C, then D. Hopefully this is helpful. You can always email us more questions, info@arnoldtutoring.com. Thanks, and have a great day.